All right, guys, welcome to my very winder whiteboard, which is a poster board taped onto my wall at home with duct tape. So I'm here today to talk to you about something really important in AP language, and that is the rhetorical situation. So far in AP, what we've really been looking at are parts of argument, and we have also been doing an intense study or an intense look at diction. But it's going to be really important as we move forward to really understand the rhetorical situation. So everything in AP language is about rhetoric, and rhetoric is argument. Okay? Anything rhetorical is argumentative. So rhetorical situation literally means the argumentative situation. And when we think about any argument, whether it's a commercial, a billboard, a magazine ad, a political speech, an opinion editorial, any argument that exists, even the arguments that exist on Facebook, they all occur in a rhetorical situation that surrounds the argument. And so as we're thinking about rhetorical situation, we have to think of something called the rhetorical triangle. I did not invent the rhetorical triangle. The rhetorical triangle was actually invented by Aristotle. It's known also as the Aristotelian triangle. So back since the Greeks sat around arguing in togas, which was kind of a thing they did, the rhetorical triangle has been a thing. Okay? And the idea of the rhetorical triangle is that a good, balanced argument must rest on 3 points. I'm going to draw a really bad triangle now. Okay, so here is our rhetorical triangle, okay? And our rhetorical triangle starts with the text. Text is going to be in the middle of the triangle, and that is whatever the argument is. Remember, in AP Lang, a text could be a photograph, a text could be a painting, a text could be a political commercial, a text could be an op-ed, a text could be a song. Literally any argument that's out there, okay, is considered a text. And so the text is in the middle of this triangle, okay? The triangle has 3 points that matter, okay? And the first of those points goes up top, and that is the speaker. Basically, whenever you are considering the rhetorical situation of a text, you have to start by thinking about the speaker, or one thing you have to consider is the speaker, okay? Who's talking? Are they qualified to talk? Okay, and that's really an important question that you ask yourself. So we have the speaker. We also have the subject, right, or the topic. And that goes down here to the left. What are they talking about? Okay, it could be something simple. The election, Black Lives Matter, sexism, racism, okay, homelessness. What's their topic? Okay, what's their topic? And that goes down here. And then the other point of the triangle is the audience. Who are they talking to? This matters, right? Different audiences require sort of a different treatment. So all of these things connect to one another. The speaker is thinking about the audience is reacting to the speaker, and the speaker is making changes on what they're saying based on who the audience is, right? The topic, okay, is going to be different to each audience, and the speaker is going to be thinking about the subject or the topic and how the audience feels about it in order to know what they're saying. So there's an interplay between all of these 3 things. The speaker is constantly thinking about what they're trying to accomplish, who they're talking to, what they're going to say, and they're crafting their argument so that it fits for the rhetorical situation. Now, the rhetorical situation has more parts to it than just this, and luckily we have a clever little memory device to remember the parts of the rhetorical situation. And that memory device is PIMWAC, okay? So I'm gonna put it here, and I am gonna take a picture of this little poster and post it on your classroom to help you out, because I know it's probably hard to see in my little bootleg video studio. So the P is for purpose. Whenever I ask you to analyze a text for the rhetorical situation, you've got to think about what is the purpose of this argument. What does the author hope to accomplish with this argument? Okay, so that's the P, purpose. E is, this one is one you probably do not know. Exigence. Okay, exigence is a word that literally means why. Why was it created? What happened in the world that made this speech or this text get created? So when you watched the TED Talk that Adam Foss, the prosecutor, did, the exigence for his speech is sort of injustices in the criminal, in our criminal justice system, right? The fact that we disproportionately punish people of color to long-term sentences, and that people of color and the mentally ill also make up the majority of our prison population, and that the United States has the largest prison population of any developed country, right? And it hasn't really helped us with crime. So that's the exigence, mess in the criminal justice system, right? That would be the exigence. That's the why, okay? The why he wrote this, or why he did that TED Talk. So you're always asking yourself, what event occurred that led them to do this? So basically, why was it written? Okay, the M is really easy. The M is the message. Message means, what did they literally say, right? 3 or 4 sentences can usually answer the question of message. What did they literally say? What does he say, right? He literally said that we needed to elect prosecutors, right, that would think about alternative sentencing, that weren't necessarily trying to just punish, but were actually thinking about reform, right? So that would be his message. Then you think, who is the writer? Writer can also be speaker, guys. Right? So writer and speaker goes with the rhetorical triangle, and so does subject and topic, which would be message, right? So these are actually parts of the triangle. Who's the writer? Who's the speaker? Are they qualified to speak? Adam Foss was qualified to speak because he is a prosecutor, right? So if he had been a garbage man and he got up and talked about the criminal reform system, I hope you would say, not really sure about that. I'm the speaker right now, and you should believe me because I'm credible. I have told you I have 3 degrees. I've taught for 21 years. I've taught AP language for 7 years. I've got credentials to make me credible for this speech. Now, if I was talking to you about calculus or brain surgery, stop listening, right? Because I'm not credible on those. So you have to ask yourself, who's the writer and speaker, and are they credible? Then you ask yourself, who is the audience? Right? And we're back over here on the triangle with audience. Who are they speaking to? This matters. Because as you start to analyze arguments, you have to think about who's talking, right? Why they're talking, what made them talk, and who they're talking to. We do not talk the same way to 6-year-olds that we do to 16-year-olds. We do not talk the same way to teenagers that we do to people who are 80. Okay? We do not talk to people who are completely uneducated about a subject the same way we talk to people who have advanced degrees in a subject. Right? We treat each audience a little bit differently. We might speak to very religious people differently than we'd speak to people who we know are just secular, right? We might speak to a group of all straight people differently than we might speak to a group of people that we know have a lot of queer members in the audience, right? We're targeting people differently because we know that they have some different feelings and different needs about things. And the last thing is context. Oops. I like to think of context as surrounding this whole thing, right? And context is all the unspoken stuff, the stuff that isn't in the speech, but the stuff that affects the speech. So when Adam Foss is talking about prosecutors, okay, everything that our country has seen over the summer about Black Lives Matter and everything that has been seen about racial injustice over the past years, all of that is in the subtext. The fact that that's polarizing, that some of you probably have different reactions to that than others of you, that's in the context, right? The fact that he's a black man in a position of power is in the context of this, because there are not very many prosecutors of color. Lots of context goes into this whole thing. Your own feelings on prison injustice and prison reform. Some people believe that we should be arresting more people. Some people believe we should be more law and justice and order. Some people believe that we need to take a different direction, right? There's so many things that he doesn't say, but that are there, right? And that is what context is. Context is everything that you know about a topic that informs your understanding of the topic or that informs an audience's understanding of a topic. So context is all the unspoken stuff, right? And it's why certain things can happen in a class or a group that make people uncomfortable, but you don't really understand why that makes people uncomfortable, right? It's why a symbol like the American flag, if I see a truck drive by my house and it's got a huge American flag waving in the back, there is a lot going on there. It's more than just that person likes America. That's all sorts of a different statement right now, right? And you know that as an American. Other people in other countries might not know that. That's context. The context that even our American flag has become sort of a divisive symbol. That's context of what's happening in our country right now. So that's kind of what context is. So the rhetorical situation, guys, is PMWAC. Purpose, exigence, message, writer, speaker, audience, context. You can represent it in this Aristotelian or rhetorical triangle, but it only includes speaker, audience, subject, and topic. What do you need to be able to do with this? You need to be able to read an argument and break out the parts of the rhetorical situation. And that's what you're going to practice doing today. Okay? I am going to post this. If you get online and search any one of these things, you're going to find all sorts of information about them. I'm also available by email if you run into trouble. I've picked what I think is a fairly straightforward text for your first PMWAC analysis, for your first rhetorical situation analysis. But if you get stuck on anything, do your best. And you can always leave me a note that says, hey, I kind of don't understand this one. The two that tend to cause people trouble are exigence, which is, again, not what's being said, but why it's being said. And then context, which is all the unspoken stuff that surrounds a speech. So without further ado, I'm going to let you work. And thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, as always, email me. Bye.